This is Module 3, Lesson 14 homework. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to add these up in a way so that makes it easier for us. So we're looking for groups that we can group up. Well, I see that I have common denominators here, so I can go ahead and group those up, and I have common denominators here. So my next set would be, I would go ahead and group up 1 3/4 plus 1/4, and then add 1/2 plus 1/2 together. So when I add those, I have 1, and then 3/4 plus 1/4 gives me 4/4, and 1/2 plus 1/2 gives me 2/2. This stays 1, 4/4 is 1, and 2/2 equals 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. 1b, I have 3 1/6 minus 3/4 plus 5/6. Well, if I'm thinking again of the story I gave you about the chocolate and getting some chocolate and then someone eating some chocolate, I can go ahead and add what I got, which is 3 1/6 plus 5/6, and that gives me 3, and then 1/6 plus 5/6 gives me 6/6, and I can go ahead and then take away my 3/4. Well, 6/6 equals 1, so 3 and 6/6 actually equals 3 plus 1, which equals 4, and I can go ahead and take away my 3/4 from that. I'm going to borrow 1, which leaves me with 3, and change 1 whole into 4/4. So 3 and 4/4 minus 3/4 is 3, and 4/4 minus 3/4 is 1/4. So that's 3 and 1/4. This one's a longer one, and it's subtraction. Remember, we start out with 5 and 5/8, and I'm taking away all of these. So what I can do is I can group up again my 5/8. So I can do 5 and 5/8 minus 5/8. And I can also add these up because I'm taking all of this away from here. So remember I said think about it as a bill. These are 2 bills. I can add these 2 bills together and then take away from here. So 2 and 6/7 minus 2/7 gives me 2 and 4/7. I apologize, you need to add those up. So I would get 2 and 8/7. Okay, and then I would go ahead and subtract these, which is 5 and 5/8 minus 5/8, which 5/8 minus 5/8 gives me 0, so I'm left with 5. Now I have 5 minus 2 and 8/7. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract my whole number, so I have 3 minus 8/7. And I can go ahead and borrow 1 whole and get 7/7. But this is also 8/7 is equal to 1 and 1/7. So I would have to go ahead and subtract my whole numbers. So 2 minus 1 gives me, and ignore this because this is incorrect, gives me 1. 7/7 minus 1/7 is 6/7. So there is my answer. And 1D, I have 7/9 plus 1/2 minus 3/2 plus 2/9. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add up ones with common denominators. So I have 7/9 plus 2/9 plus 1/2 minus 3/2. So if I add those up, I have 9/9 plus 1/2 minus, and I changed this to a mixed number. So I have 1 plus, bring down my 1/2 minus 1 and 1/2. Well, I can go ahead and take away my whole numbers, so that gives me 0. And then I can take away my fractions. 1/2 minus 1/2 is also 0. So my answer is 0.